and provide a loan. I saw it happening, and I saw in 2005, I saw people saying, I'm making $150,000, and they weren't, but they were able to qualify for, $700,000-800,000 house by just telling them exactly what they wanted to hear. Well, we all know what happened. 2008, some of those loans, they called them short-term loans, balloon payment loans. They were only 3 to 5 years with low interest, and then all of a sudden they doubled their interest rates. Well, 2005 is when you saw a lot of activity of people buying homes, and then 2008 is about the time frame when these loans started doubling in price. So people that were paying $1,000 a month for a $800,000 house, I'm exaggerating here, basically their loan went to almost $3,000 a month and they couldn't afford it. So they ended up dumping it on the market and banks taking over the properties. So that's kind of what happened in the market. We had hundreds of thousands of homes dumped on the market between 2009, 2010, 2011, and there just wasn't enough people to be able to afford to buy the properties. People that lost their homes couldn't re-up and buy another house because they couldn't qualify because of the poor credit that they had because they lost the home. So then the housing industry came out with these short sales. They ended up selling bank-owned properties. Banks took over the properties and dumped them on the market for what they owed. So a typical $400,000 home, they were selling them for $90,000 to $180,000, depending on what they could get for it. So everybody panicked, and that's exactly what happened. The market just dipped and died. We could see, in just an example, Concord in 2010, on average, had between 700 and 1,100 homes for sale, compared to 87 right now. So that's kind of the comparison of a healthy market and a bad market. I at one time saw Concord with 1,100 homes for sale in 2010. It was amazing. But what they finally did was they got control over the financial markets, they tightened the loan process to where you have to qualify with your income to be able to justify a home. They required more down payments. So instead of a 3% down payment, they required a minimum of 5%, and most banks like to see 20% down on a loan for a new house. So they tightened that up quite significantly and did a lot more research on their financial background, on people's financial background. Now I'm going through that whole process right now, and I literally had to provide a stack of documents of every piece of information that I could provide. Anything related to financial information. I have multiple properties, so I had to provide loan documents for every property. I had to provide the principal loan information, mortgage notes. You would not believe the amount of information I had to provide. But on the other hand, I'm glad that they're doing that because I think it's helping the economy from that perspective and making sure that the loans are stable. Now let's talk about the current status of the marketplace. Someone asked me the other day, a friend of mine, he said, do you ever think we'll see prices like this again? Absolutely. The market is cyclical, and it's almost, you could lay it over about every 10 to 17 years. You can almost lay it over exactly how it goes. And when you go from, and the records go back from 1960 on to current day, It's pretty much standard, about 10 to 17 years is pretty much the market trend. But you can basically state that real estate investment is your value on your home. You make about 5% every year, no matter the good times, no matter the bad times. On average, it's 5% every year. There are some years you make 12, 15, 20, 25% on your value of your home. But then there are some years you make a negative 5%. So, but if you look at the overall average in California on the market trends, if you start from 1960, you see about a 5% increase in values throughout that period of time until now. So how do we think the market is going to go? We think the future is pretty steady as we go forward. We've been seeing anywhere between 18 to about 27% growth in the values the last 2 years in a row in property values. We've seen actually more than that before 2015, but that was because the market was trying to catch back up and people were antsy, waiting to buy, and once they started seeing the market pick up, they jumped in the market to try to buy. So we believe, in everything that I've read, they believe that the future of the real estate market for the next year to 2 years is anywhere between 2 to 7% in California, in our Bay Area. So, and they base that on income, low unemployment, and the Silicon Valley continuing to grow and expand out here. If we see Google move out here and Amazon open up their second headquarters in Concord, which they're anticipating, Concord really looks good for that. They're expecting that the market in this area is probably going to double or triple compared to what we have been seeing. So if we take that 2 to 7%, we could double that. Could be 14 to 21% growth in values in the market here. So, and we're seeing a lot of people starting to get antsy about it and trying to anticipate that. So we'll see how it goes. Housing, right now, it's really tight. Like I said, an average good market, and I'll take Concord for an example. A healthy market is for Concord, is about 200 to 300 homes on the market. Right now we have 87. And it's been pretty much that way. I think the most I've seen it is 120 this year, and that was in the spring. But spring is a busy time. People wait in the winter to hold off, and then they start buying again in the spring. So that 120 went down to about 90 within a couple days. So what I have here is for your information. If anybody wants an extra copy, you can have mine. What I want to bring to attention is the all Paragon areas right at the top. It's telling you that the inventory, this is August's monthly trend that we follow on a regular basis. As a realtor, I constantly keep track of this. So we are seeing that the inventory is up a little bit, 3%. And that's all of our Paragon area, which is mostly Contra Costa County, a little bit of Alameda, and just a little bit of Vallejo, not a lot. But just say for whatever it is, that trend is the inventory is up a little bit. But if you look overall from 2015, 2016, and 2017, this trend is way down. We're about 1,000 properties off less on the market than what we saw in 2015 and 2016. So that just tells you that the prices are going to continue to increase. I'd like to wrap it up with some questions if anybody has any. Yeah,
Yeah, some of these are up and some of these are down, and
Right.
some of these are actually really good areas that are
Right.
down. I'm curious about that.
it's a month-to-month track. So if you look, it's kind of hard to look at, take a picture of 1 month. But what happens is it takes a while to get a house on the market. Can do 30 to 60 days sometimes for people to start thinking about getting their house on the market. Once they get the house on the market, it pretty much sells right away. So, but what we're seeing is unless we have less than a month of inventory on the market, 1.1 months of inventory on the market. But if you see that in some areas we have 2, which is like Alamo, and why is Alamo higher?
Because it's evil. Like Walnut Creek and all this ones do.
Yeah, because it's a higher price.
Yeah.
So higher priced homes take a little bit longer to sell compared to Antioch, which the homes are selling, relatively quick because of the lower prices in the house. And same thing as Pittsburgh, those areas you're going to see they're going to sell faster. They're going to be on the month inventory is going to be lower than compared to your higher priced areas. Any other questions? Did I answer your question, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think the banks have gone too far in making now the lending too strict? Because I see it work in financial advising. The people have a lot of cash, but the banks are only concerned with income.
Right.
And in my opinion, your income can go away
Right.
tomorrow because you can be fired. But if
Right.
you're sitting on $2 million in cash,
Yes.
that should be more
Yeah.
important. I mean, are you seeing the same
Yes.
thing?
Yes. Exactly. And I'm seeing that with myself. Is we've got the cash, but they don't care about that. They're more concerned about what my income is. They don't care about how
Which
much
can
money.
change in
Yeah.
a heartbeat.
Yeah. Exactly. So yes, I agree that it's a little bit too tight. So.
A little bit?
And it's difficult to keep track of. You know what happened is they got so tight because of such problems in the market that I think they just went overboard. I'm hoping they're going to start letting that.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
I know it's gonna
It's
happen.
kind of hard to say.
It's not hard to say.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. PG&E. I went to PG&E today to see my husband for lunch. Okay.
Okay.
Let's make this interesting. How many people have seen Men in Black? That
I've seen
movie?
it. I've seen it.
Okay, it's real. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. I'll describe why. I have a right to be in my husband's workplace to ask him out for lunch. They wouldn't let me in the building. There's a code on the building. I had to ring a doorbell. This weird woman with nothing in her eyes came to the door. I said, "Do you know Richard Flanders?" She said, "Yes, we can't be in the building." I said, "Excuse me, what is your name?" She ran away. Okay. Some real people opened the door because they had keys to get in. So I just went in and followed them. Because I've been there before. Like 5-10 years ago when it was better. It's very, very different now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you have no clue what is really going on right now. No clue, no clue.
Okay. Any other questions related to the presentation? All right. Thanks, everybody.
And I believe you must have gone over your
Way over, my friend. Way over.
So we don't need to vote, and we really don't need a progress report.
You don't need to vote because there's only one person.
Exactly, yes. getting back to the pirates theme, why do pirates steal? What do they steal? They steal anything, and anything they can sell. Fine fabrics from the Far East, tobacco, food, jewelry, gold, medicine,